You got some questions?
All right, I finally got Ethan to watch Star Wars.
Not all of them yet.
Not all of them
we're
yet.
getting there.
I decided we're gonna have him give his thoughts after each movie. We watched 1 and 2 so far.
Yeah.
Because there's so many movies out, we decided 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be the best way to do this. Especially since Ethan already knows all the twists.
Yeah,
so,
I know like all the spoilers and stuff, and I've just never sat down and watched all the movies.
So it's not like...
So, like, I know the storyline, but there's still some stuff I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. So, it's pretty good.
And there's... even knowing the story, there's nothing like watching it with the music and the saber fights and everything.
I really like the music in this. Yeah. I'm a big movie music buff.
So we're starting with Episode 1, Phantom Menace.
Yeah. It was good.
It was good. It was good. Let's see.
The one thing I'm going to say just straight off the bat is I didn't like Jar Jar Binks that much, but it didn't like skew my view of liking or disliking the movie.
It didn't destroy the movie.
No. I really just ignored him, honestly.
In small doses, he's not bad.
No.
But
and
throughout
it's like,
the whole thing...
he was okay at the beginning, and then like halfway through, I'm like, oh, I don't like this character.
By the time you get to Tatooine...
Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to ignore this character for the rest of the movie.
And then he kind of helps at the end.
Yeah,
getting
enough.
The army and everything.
And then they made him a general, and that made me angry. They're making this doofus, and... I did tell Aaron, though, if this was played by an actor, it would be perfect to be played by Don Knotts. Like, just absolutely perfect.
Yeah. I'm thinking that they made him a general so that he'd be at the front and be the first to die.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. And then Aaron was telling me that they only got him to be a general so he could be in the opening or the closing scene where they're all in a line, like on the front steps getting an award or whatever.
Probably,
I was like, that makes sense.
So, let's see. You talked about a little bit of what you didn't like. What's something you liked about it?
I really liked Darth Maul.
Oh my gosh.
And his lightsaber. Because back then it wasn't... I guess it was still pretty easy to think of new lightsaber designs than it is today. Like now it's just kind of like, oh, let's add 2 things shooting off the side.
That's pretty cool.
It is
like
pretty cool.
Broadsword.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And I like how it's all jagged and stuff. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. I also really liked... Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi together. They were really good. Gosh.
There was really good screen presence there with just the good combination. I will say this for Episode 8. One thing that I liked about it that was not good with 7. This isn't a major spoiler or nothing. But the scenes where Kylo Ren and Rey interacted, they're so much better together than they are in their own separate scenes.
Oh, really?
Like, there's really good chemistry on screen there.
Huh.
So, something to look forward to.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let's hope it's still in theaters by the time I finish watching all these.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
Either way, you'll see it on DVD when it comes out. So, not that big a deal. But, let's see. What'd you think of C-3PO? I know...
Oh.
He's not in this one very much.
Yeah. It's neat how they tied him in to Anakin building him. Like... I don't know, it's just really neat, because I've seen the beginning of, I guess it's 4, where C-3PO and R2 are on the ship, and then Darth Vader bursts through the door and everything, and they're right next to each other again. Like, thinking about that and seeing him building it was really interesting.
Yeah, It's really cool how it's... I know you'll see it in the next movie, so I'm not going to say what it is, but just thinking about whenever they come across each other, they're on opposite sides.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if Darth Vader recognizes him.
I didn't think about that, yeah.
Like the plating and everything.
Yeah.
Might be changed.
But, I mean, it's still, I feel like if you built it, you would know it was yours.
Yeah. I know I have a book called The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader, and it takes place, it's the whole life of Anakin.
Oh, really?
And it's basically all these movies told from his perspective and only his perspective. And once you get to Episode 5 on Cloud City, have you seen anything with that?
That's the one where Anakin or not Anakin, Luke falls.
Yeah. But in it, C-3PO gets blown apart, and the stormtroopers getting ready to destroy the droid. But Darth Vader sees it and he stops him.
Oh, really?
And he holds his head like in Hamlet, and he's looking at him and remembering his childhood.
Yeah, remembering him tinkering around.
And then he gives it to Chewbacca. He's like, and the stormtroopers are questioning his decision. He's like, it's something he deserves because it's destroyed. So he's trying to make it seem like, oh, this Wookiee only deserves trash.
Yeah.
But he's saving his droid.
Huh.
Which I thought that was a really cool scene in the book.
Which oh, it's a book. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really see, it's not in the movies.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that were there books first or was it a movie first?
movies.
Okay.
It was movies first, and then they wrote books, novelizations,
Yeah,
and
of
stuff
the
to
movies.
fill in the
Yeah.
gaps. Because I think there's 2 or 3 years in between 4 and 5.
Oh, really?
Like in actual
Like
story time.
movie years, yeah.
Yeah. Even though they came out I think they came out 3 years apart.
Did they
actually.
really?
Yeah. I think it was 77, 80, 83 for the original 3. Back to episode 1.
Yeah. It's really easy to go on like a rabbit trail on this thing.
It's fine. It's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do I want to ask you? What do you think of battle droids so far?
They're goofy.
They're goofy.
They're really. I mean, they're cool, but they're really funny.
It's kind of like they took
the scene where they're trying to get out of the place and they're talking to one of the droids, and Qui-Gon says something. It's like, we're going to this place. I don't even remember where it was.
Coruscant.
Yeah, we're going to Coruscant, and he's like, Coruscant. Wait, that doesn't. You're under arrest.
Yeah, they're not the most effective
No,
guards.
no, but I mean, they still defeated Jar Jar and his army like very easily. So they're still effective to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you think about robots in our real life, they can do simple tasks, but doing things like decision making,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they're not the best.
Not even
AI is not overly advanced.
Something
yet.
I have noticed though with these first 2 movies, I've watched 2 of them so far, but we're talking about the first one. Is R2 is definitely free-willed.
Oh yeah.
Like not.
These robots are incredibly sentient.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They know
I
what
mean,
they're
even
doing.
C-3PO isn't as sentient as R2-D2
Well,
is.
his character develops. You'll see him later.
Because like, it seems like anytime I see him with him, he's like, "Where are you going, R2?" It's like, "Come back here. You're making a stupid mistake." And he follows him anyway.
Yeah, that's against protocol.
Yeah.
He's a protocol droid. Let's see. What'd you think of the pod racing scene?
That was cool. That was really neat.
Quadranero, man.
He's my hero. And not all heroes wear capes.
If you don't know who Quadranero is,
Just look it up. You'd have to look up, because it's a pair of shoes too for some reason.
Really?
That's what popped up first when I typed it into Google, just trying to find a picture of him. But look up like Quadranero's Star Wars.
Ben Quadranero.
Ben Quadranero. Look
Yeah.
up that.
But
But
he is my hero.
for some reason with this first one, I really couldn't get that invested in it. Like, I don't know what it was. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. I couldn't get, even for action scenes and like the
We were
pod
kind of
racing
talking
scenes.
during the whole setup.
That's
so-
also true, but I don't know. And the end scene was cool. The end fight scene was neat. So
The stuff with the Queen is really hard to get into.
yeah, it is.
Like, if they focused more on Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, I think
And
it would have been a
Anakin,
much
like little
stronger.
Anakin.
Yeah. It would have been a much stronger movie. Like,
I agree.
find a way to get to Tatooine sooner.
Yeah.
To get to the good stuff. But yeah, the whole negotiations thing.
Yeah.
It led to a couple good lines, but
Other than that, it's kind of pointless.
yeah. Like, we could have started at the invasion scene instead of having the whole thing up in the ships.
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of pointless for them to go. They went from where they were supposed to have the negotiation thing, and then they went back. Where'd they land? Where Jar Jar Binks was?
Naboo.
They landed there, and then got a ship from Jar Jar to go somewhere else, to get a ship from them to go somewhere else. Like, it was just a lot of, I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of filler to me. But
Yeah. It's kind of weird because they had to get to basically the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
Is the problem. Which is why they went through the core of the planet.
yeah.
But yeah, they could have put it closer and just had
Yeah.
an easier scene.
Yeah, and they run into like 7 different kinds of monster fish. It's like, we get it. You're on an alien planet.
There's always a bigger fish.
You're riding in a ship with an alien. We get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were cool. The first couple were cool, and then there was like 4 more. I'm like, come on.
A big thing is George Lucas is trying to mirror 4, 5, and 6. That's a big.
Yeah, that's always.
That's a big difference. Like 7 was basically a recreation of 4.
Really?
Whereas 1 is like a mirror image. It's very different, but it hits the same points.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll notice that whenever we get to 4, how they start up in a ship, they go down and find the Skywalker on a desert planet,
and then take him with them.
Yeah. So it hits the same points, but it's like
nothing is ever as good if you're trying to recreate something that was really good to begin with.
It's like I don't even.
I'm trying to think of a good example. Yeah, Superman Returns.
Oh yeah, they're trying to capture Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, they were really
Superman.
trying. Even the suit was like basically exactly the same, just like
supposed
newer.
to be the same Superman.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be the exact same Superman.
But that still was just weird. I feel like I don't know.
And again, that's a movie that had really cool action scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
but the story was a little difficult.
With the minigun shooting his eye.
Oh yeah, and it like just smashes on his eye.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
that was in the trailer.
If you haven't seen the movie by now, you're really lucky.
Don't.
I guess. But you're not missing much. It has nothing to do with the DC universe now, so no spoilers.
Man of Steel's better anyways.
Yeah, oh for sure. I love Man of Steel.
Oh man. Back to a tangent.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We should just talk about movies more often. This is fun. I love talking about movies.
That could be our podcast.
Yeah, there we go. Right before the start, I was like, we should have a podcast. I was like, I can totally talk about stuff for an hour.
Because I really want to pick your brain on some of the stuff with the DC movie universe that they got right now. Because we're like, what, 5 movies in now?
Something like that, yeah. It was Superman, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, and now
Suicide Squad, Justice League.
Suicide Squad and Justice League. So yeah, 5. Anyway, that's a different video. That's a different podcast. I don't know how we're doing this.
So, let's see. What do you know about the Force so far? Like from episode 1.
From episode 1, I know.
I told you one line in particular is really important to catch. You might not remember. It was a long time ago.
I don't remember. But I know the Force is. There's a good and a bad side to the Force, obviously. That's where the Sith comes in, because they're like the
dark side.
The dark side, not the bad side. Using correct terminology here. The dark side of the Force. And that derives off of anger more than anything.
Uh-huh.
And then the light side, is that what it's called, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. The light side of the Force is more about, like, I guess tranquility is kind of what it was. Like, being calm and, like, training and, you know... it's easier...
Peace.
It's easier to be a Sith because it's easier to get angrier, but it's more rewarding to be on the light side.
Well, think about it.
From what I understand.
It's kind of like in real life where you're going for the easy score.
Mm-hmm.
You can steal, you can cheat, and you'll get short-term gains.
Yeah. But
eventually you'll be caught.
Yeah.
That's the Sith.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting from it.
You're going for power. You're going for influence.
Yeah.
Whereas with the light side, you're going for, I guess the real-world parallel would be a good life.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird because the Jedi forbid attachment, but they encourage caring. You know, they encourage you to care and help others.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be the light side.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of strange how they... Because the second movie, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, the second movie ends with Anakin getting married.
And it's secret. And the only witnesses are
R2 and C-3PO. And the guy marrying him. Whoever that was.
Obviously. But they have to keep it completely secret, otherwise Anakin can get thrown out of the order.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So it's that strict, huh? I didn't realize it was that bad. That strict.
Yeah. They don't want you to form attachments, because then it could cloud your judgment.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Because I guess the main thing is the Jedi are trying to preserve as much life as possible.
Mm.
So they don't want you to pick between your spouse or 100 other people.
Yeah.
Because you're going to pick your spouse.
Yeah. Versus if you didn't know that person, you would pick the 100 people and let that one person die.
Yeah.
Theoretically, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
This isn't something. Yeah. It's not like a scene in the movie.
Yeah. Another tangent, just a short one. And I guess kind of a unintentional promotion. Have you been watching or heard about Vsauce's YouTube Red series?
No.
It's I don't remember what it's called. It's like Mind something. And do you know what Vsauce is?
I've seen some of his videos.
It's one of the the first episode of season 2 was about that morality thing, and they actually set up a test where it's like you could either move the train to hit one person or 5 people.
That's a classic.
Yeah, and
It's like,
the results are really interesting, honestly.
Yeah, I really like that study.
Yeah,
it's like you can either flip the switch
to save 5 people,
and kill one.
Yeah.
And most people would flip the switch. But whenever it comes to you actually physically pushing the person, then it changes.
It's like a fight or flight or freeze kind of situation.
Yeah.
So I would encourage anybody to watch that on YouTube. The first episode's free. It's really good. I watched it the other day. It was really good. Really interesting.
And I don't know if it's still going on, but they had a promotion with 3 free months of Red.
Oh, yeah.
So even if it wasn't free, you could probably do that.
Yeah.
I know you at least get a free month.
Yeah, something like that.
So there you go.
Yeah, there's that. So,
information for you.
Yeah, back to Star Wars yet again.
So, talked about the Force. The line I wanted you to remember is be mindful of the living Force.
Living Force.
That's what Qui-Gon told Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Be mindful of the living Force.
So is somebody technically the Force then? Is that kind of what it's hinting at?
Not exactly.
Not exactly? Okay.
We'll continue as we go through the movies, but just remember right now, and I'll bring up the point whenever we talk about 2 and 3,
okay.
But be mindful of the living Force.
Okay.
Anything else on 1 you want to say?
I don't know. I didn't really... I haven't seen all of them yet, but I still didn't really understand why people said this was like the worst movie in the history of movies. I've heard really bad things about this movie, and honestly, a lot of it was kind of like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad.
The big thing, I think that comes from 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't live up to people's expectations.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, another Star Wars is going to be so great.
Yeah.
Look at this cast. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. Liam Neeson, man.
And it wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
The prequels focus a lot on the political side, whereas the original trilogy is all about the interconnections of people.
Yeah.
It's about Luke. It's about Leia.
And honestly, I'm not a very big political guy, even a little bit. So maybe that's why it was harder for me to get into the first one. And the second one was way more, like, I guess, war-ish. Like, there was a lot more war going on, which is kind of why I got hooked a little bit more, I guess.
So it's like, Episode 1 is peace.
Yeah.
Episode 2 is the gathering storm of war. Episode 3
is just all-out war. Yeah.
Like, they're trying to end the war in Episode 3.
Okay, so the first one is... what's the name of the first one?
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, okay. So then who technically was the Phantom Menace, then?
Who do you think? You had 2 choices.
The only guy that's coming to mind is because he's awesome and it's Darth Maul, but that's probably not it, because he died. Spoiler alert.
I don't know if they ever answer that question.
I don't think they do.
I think it's Sidious. Just because he's in the background.
That makes sense, yeah.
And he's the one pulling all the strings.
And I already know, like, who he is.
Yeah.
So...
But it could easily be Maul, because he's kind of looming in the background for the whole movie, and then at the end...
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that they know about at that point.
Yeah.
Because if you... Do you remember Qui-Gon's funeral?
Yeah.
It's like, which one was this, the master or the apprentice? It's kind of alluding.
Okay. I didn't hear that. I don't remember it, at least.
It's Mace Windu talking to Yoda.
Yeah.
It's like, always 2 there are, a master and apprentice, but which one was slain, the master or the apprentice?
Yeah.
It's like...
So it's asking, like, if Palpatine...
Darth Maul was this big threat, and they know there's another one out there, but they don't know where he is. That's why I think it's Sidious, because he's the looming threat they don't know.
It would make more sense for it to be Sidious.
But it also makes sense for it to be Maul, because at this point, the Jedi don't know the Sith are back.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, they get these whisperings, and then Qui-Gon has that confrontation with him on Tatooine.
Yeah.
And it's like, this may be a Sith, it may just be an assassin.
I didn't realize the Sith were gone at one point. I didn't realize they weren't a thing.
Before all this, there's a Sith Empire, and there's like a whole army of Sith.
Okay.
And the Jedi and the Republic defeated them and thought they wiped them out.
Yeah,
but one Sith survived.
Which one was that?
Darth Bane, and he invented the rule of 2. Basically, the Sith that exists takes on an apprentice, trains them until the apprentice is strong enough
to kill that one.
I've
heard of that before. Yeah. That's really interesting.
I have a book. I don't know if I got rid of it or it might have got ruined in a flood. But it was called Darth Bane: The Rule of Two. It was a story about how Darth Bane survived and took on his apprentice.
That's really interesting.
He's really cool. He has
the name like Darth Bane. Like, come on.
Anything with Bane, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But this will be my last tangent for episode 1. Then we'll move on to episode 2. But Darth Bane has a special armor, special Sith armor that's enchanted that augments his force ability while reducing his lifespan. It's just like sucking the life out of him to draw on the dark side.
That's really neat.
It's kind of like Batman has an armor like that. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think so. It's like to fight Superman.
Yeah.
But it also like drains his life.
Yeah.
Or no. I don't think it was to fight Superman. I think it was like to go into space or something.
It was to go to Apocalypse.
It was go to Darkseid.
Yeah.
That was neat.
It was a really cool scene. I'm not sure if it's in a cartoon, but I know
don't
it's
think so. I've seen pictures like of comics of it, and it's really neat. It's like red. It's got like a red glow on the inside.
So let's see. I guess we can try to do a rating. What do you think out of 10?
Out of 10, jeez. I'm gonna go right down the middle and give it like a 4 or 5, probably. Just because it wasn't fantastic.
But it was a solid movie.
It was a solid
movie.
Movie, yeah. I mean, it had all the aspects of a movie.
It wasn't a 1.
No, definitely not.
All right, there we go. We're moving on to Attack of the Clones now.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's something you didn't like? We'll try to do the same.
Oh, something process. I didn't like. Okay. How creepy.
There's some low-hanging fruit here.
How creepy Anakin talked to Padme. Holy crap.
I look like sand.
Because it's coarse, but your skin is so soft. Let me just touch your skin real quick. Oh my gosh, it was weird. And at the very beginning, where he meets back up with her, and she's like, Anakin, you've grown. And he's like, yes, you have too.
I mean,
you're beautiful. Well, what's happening over here? And he like walks away.
Yeah.
It was...
What's something that you did like?
I loved... Again, I really liked Obi-Wan and Anakin's interactions when they were there. But then I also really liked it when Obi-Wan was on by himself. Like I just like Obi-Wan, honestly. He's really cool.
McGregor's a really good actor.
Yeah,
I love him.
Is he? He's not the same in 4 because it was an older guy.
No, that was Sir Alec Guinness.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
That was a dumb question.
I really want to know thoughts on Dooku.
Really neat, really interesting. Honestly, I really don't have a huge opinion on him yet because he wasn't in this one very much. And when he was in it, he wasn't really doing anything. He was just kind of there. It seemed like. I really like his lightsaber though. It's neat, and the way he holds it. There's a character in Harry Potter. Can't think of her name. Starts with a B. Anyway, she was a bad guy.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yes, that's who it was. And she had a different. It was really creepy.
And she always like pointed it at her temple.
Yeah, she held it the same way though, because it was curved like that. Yeah. She held it the same way as him. Look up a picture or something, and you'll figure out what we're talking about.
I might put one up because that's pretty easy to do.
Like a side by side.
Yeah. Did you catch the line where Dooku mentions that he was Qui-Gon's master?
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Dooku trained Qui-Gon.
He said something. It's like he was talking. Was he talking to Obi-Wan?
Yeah. Whenever he captured Obi-Wan,
he was like he was as like resistant or something as you are right now or something when I was training him. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes you wonder where Qui-Gon came from. Is there a book about that too?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the books. But let's see. Qui-Gon kind of had a tendency to fight with the Jedi Council.
Yeah. Which
is why he's not on the Council. Even though he has the ability, he has the training.
Yeah.
He could easily be on the Council, but he fights with them. And here's where I'm going to bring up the living force. The reason is Qui-Gon would always be mindful of the living force, whereas the Jedi stuck to tradition. They stuck to the light side. They stuck to, this is what Jedi do.
Yeah.
This is our path. Whereas Qui-Gon felt what the force wanted to do and went with it. So that should kind of...
So instead of following the force, he was kind of led by the force in a way, like the light side, technically.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's kind of he lets it lead him rather than leading the Force.
Yeah.
Like the Jedi are always trying to, this is where it should be, pull it this way.
Yeah.
Whereas Qui-Gon's like, all right, the Force will do what it will. I need to follow it, otherwise I'm on the wrong path.
Yeah.
So that should hopefully shine a little bit of light onto what's going on here. Because it's interesting, this idea that the Chosen One will bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
But to do that, he had to plunge himself in the darkness, because that's Anakin.
Yeah.
And he had to plunge himself, and he becomes Darth Vader before bringing balance. So it's just, the Force doesn't work on a binary.
Yeah.
This is the light side. This is what's good. This is the dark side. Here's what's bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
It's mended together a little more.
Yeah.
And you were telling me kind of about Mace Windu, about that same type of deal.
Yeah.
How he was like trained on the dark side or something like that?
His lightsaber style is Type 7, which is called Juyo, which is what the Sith train with.
Gotcha.
It draws upon the anger of the user to power the blows. And you'll see, especially in 3, Anakin taps into that, even though he's not trained to.
Yeah.
But you'll see, as he gets more frustrated, he'll draw into his anger, and his style will change slightly.
Really?
From kind of
a more like dance thing to like just a...
kind of a fencing, dancing motion to...
just angry blows.
Yeah. Well, you kind of saw that with the Tusken Raiders in Episode 2.
Oh, yeah.
Back to Episode 2.
When he just walked out and started slaughtering everybody. That was really cool.
That was a really cool scene.
Okay, that was my favorite scene of this movie. I'm going to rant about this real quick. Whenever his mother died in his arms, and then he walks out and just starts decapitating
Tusken Raiders. Or sand people.
Whatever they are, yeah. Oh, man, that was so cool. And then it cuts to Yoda sitting in this room meditating, and you hear all these things going on in the background. And one of the things you hear is this big, long, deep breath of Darth Vader. And I was like, "Whoa, that's the coolest thing ever."
Did you notice whose voice was in that?
I heard somebody scream Anakin.
It's Qui-Gon.
Was it Qui-Gon? Really?
It was Qui-Gon's, Anakin, no. Anakin, no, no, no.
When was... Wait. Oh, I guess when he was training him or something?
Whenever he was killing the Tusken Raiders. That was...
like the Force Ghost talking to him. Oh, okay. Oh, man, I didn't realize that. That makes it so much cooler. This is my favorite scene in this movie, by far. And then Mace Windu he comes in and starts talking to Yoda, and in the background, really slowly, at like a different tempo, you can hear the Imperial March start up a little bit. Dun, dun, dun. And it wasn't even... I don't even think it had that rhythm. It wasn't the same rhythm. It was all like quarter notes. Just like super like... It was awesome, man.
I had to watch it again.
You just need to watch it again. Everybody needs to watch just that scene.
Just that scene.
I don't care if you don't watch any other Star Wars movie ever.
That was one scene where the interaction with Padme and Anakin felt really good.
Yeah.
In the garage there, where he's like crying in anger. There were animals and I slaughtered. That was a good interaction.
That was a good scene.
That felt really good. If the interactions between them felt more like that, the movie would have been like 10 times better.
Yeah. If I were to go back and think of the different interactions between Padme and Anakin, that's like the first one that comes to my mind. And I guess that's why I couldn't tell you all the times they were together in this movie, just because I didn't care. Like I knew they were in a field at one point, and the sand thing.
That was it just felt like filler.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was like Sound of Music. They were just in the middle of this field, like they were in Sound of Music. Also a good movie. Good music.
What'd you think of the scene at the end with all the Jedi fighting in that arena with like the monsters?
That was so cool. Man, it was so cool to see all the different light color lightsabers just swinging around and people falling over and everything. Man, that was a cool scene.
And of course I gotta ask you about Jango Fett.
Love Jango Fett. I mean, he wasn't... I've seen bits and pieces with Boba Fett in 4, 5, and 6. I like Boba Fett better, even though I've seen more of Jango Fett, just because it seems like he's got more character to him than Jango Fett.
Yeah.
But I still do
just
like Jango Fett.
Just by his armor, you can tell he has more character.
I still do like Jango Fett. I love his ship. That was like one of the coolest ships.
That scene where Obi-Wan's chasing him through the asteroid field.
Oh, yeah.
He's like sending out those sonic
bombs. Oh, those are so cool. How it's like silent and then this big like... yeah.
That's a cool
like a
sound
guitar
effect.
string. It was really neat. The sound effects in these movies are incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
It's amazing what they did to make the lightsabers in the original movie.
Yeah, isn't it Cars or something?
What they did, they took a bunch of different sounds.
Yeah.
Put it on a microphone and like swung it around and
Seriously?
recorded. Like they had I forget his name, but the one person who did it was watching the movie and then swinging it around trying to make it sound natural.
The sound people are just incredible, honestly, when it comes to that. But like I feel like I remember my parents telling me that they put a microphone on like a highway, and as cars went by, videotape or like recorded that sound of a car like as it went by, and made that like part of it. But
there's a lot of different sounds.
Yeah,
in there. I know the bass of the sound, like the really deep, was a recording of. It was like a. I don't remember what it was. It was like a speaker or something, but it's feedback from.
Yeah.
And they're like, that sounds really cool. So they recorded it.
And had that as like a bass tone.
Bass tone of the lightsaber.
That's really interesting.
And then they added more stuff on top of it.
Another small tangent, kind of shout out type deal. When you were talking about the feedback, there's a band called Paris Monster. You guys should look them up. It's really, really cool. I saw them live in concert once, and they use feedback in their music. Like there's a bass player, and he's playing and gets really close to the amp until it starts making like a high pitched like drone kind of noise and backs up and makes it quieter. And it really works really well with the music. It was really neat. So that's that.
Let's see. What questions did I ask you for the first one that I haven't asked you yet?
It
doesn't really matter.
No.
So.
I really liked Mace Windu.
Yeah.
I liked him as a kid when my parents were watching it, and I was just around and just kind of there. I was like, oh, I like him. Mainly because his lightsaber's purple and nobody else has a purple lightsaber.
I like how he's slowly introduced. Like in one, you see him a little bit, and then this one you get to see him fight.
Yeah.
You get to see
and I'm
him...
assuming 3, he's like all over the place.
All I'm going to say is, whenever he fights one of the Sith, I'm not going to say which one, because there's technically 3.
Yeah.
Because Anakin turns to the dark side, there's Dooku still alive, and Sidious.
Yeah.
But that's one of the coolest lightsaber fights.
Really?
Oh.
Okay, one of the coolest moments, this is going back to 1.
Going back to 1.
Is whenever Obi-Wan is fighting Darth Maul right after, spoiler alert, he kills Qui-Gon, and he hits it. Yeah, he hits him like he swings at him at his back, and Obi-Wan puts the lightsaber behind him, blocks it, and then the other side of the lightsaber comes in front of him, and real quick, it's like he's swinging down and blocks both shots behind him and in front of him. It's hard to explain, but look it up. It's really neat.
Basically, whenever Darth Maul's got the double-sided lightsaber, he swings and tries to hit Obi-Wan in the back. Obi-Wan swings back and blocks it, like he pulls above his head and angles his lightsaber down, and then Darth Vader gets ready to swing, reverses
like a
the
pivot.
swing.
Yeah.
And the other blade of his lightsaber is about to stab Obi-Wan, and he just pulls his arms down and blocks it.
Yeah, has the lightsaber like straight up and down right in front of him and blocks it. Coolest block. Oh man, and it was like instantaneous. It was like and it was done. Yeah.
I love that.
Man, it was cool.
The lightsaber scenes in 1, 2, and 3.
They're pretty
best.
good. They're really good.
Let's see, episode 2.
Yeah, back to episode 2.
Clone Troopers. What do you think about the shots of like the army?
That was
standing
neat.
there?
That was neat. And I was something else I didn't realize that I'm gonna say, just for my own stupidity, and I don't know, you guys can get a laugh from me, I guess, is that I didn't realize until just when I was watching number 2, just like a half an hour ago or so, that clone troopers and stormtroopers are different. I thought they were the same thing, and then Jared said they kind of were, but I'm not really sure. He said I'll find out in number 3, so we'll see what happens. But like, they put on their helmets. I was like, oh, those are bad guys, and then they ended up being on a good side. So I don't know. I was confused. Still am confused.
I didn't want to spoil anything. So for those of you at home being like, Jared, why didn't you just tell him blah blah blah? I want him to watch. He didn't.
I want to watch too. I want to find out myself.
It's something that he didn't know.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that wasn't spoiled for him a decade ago.
Yeah.
I want him to see.
And it's like, some of the stuff that's been spoiled for me is just like common knowledge now because these movies have been out for so long. So
anybody who's seen Ferris Bueller knows the line, "Luke, I am your father." So, not a big deal that he knows that.
Yeah.
That's another thing when deciding the order. If he didn't know all these big twists that were in 4, 5, and 6, I would have started with that. Because, that's such a cool moment whenever
when you
first see, no, I am your father.
Yeah. I really wish I could have seen that for the first time, not knowing.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many movie moments and just in general where I wish I could go back and watch a movie for the first time again. Oh, that would have been awesome. I wish I was in the theater to see that, honestly. That would have been so cool.
Oh, man. The actors didn't even know.
Really?
Like, the stand-in line was Obi-Wan killed your father.
Really?
And then, right before filming the scene, George Lucas pulls aside Mark Hamill, who plays Luke, and goes, okay, you know the line we've been using? No, Obi-Wan killed your father. The actual line is, no, I am your father. Go. It's like, he told him that
cool.
right before filming the scene.
That's like method acting right there. That's perfect. Holy crap, that's awesome.
Like
I don't know if that's the right term, but that's amazing.
Only a handful of people knew.
Yeah.
Like, the person who had to deliver the line knew.
George Lucas definitely knew.
The writers.
Yeah.
A couple people knew.
But, like, none of the actors, I bet.
The actors didn't know.
I wonder if the guy who played Darth Vader knew. Well, no, because
like
it wasn't the same.
The actual bodysuit?
Yeah. I was just about to say, it's not the same. The voice isn't the same actor. Like,
no,
the body
it's
actor
James Earl Jones,
as
Mufasa,
the voice.
who does the voice.
And then some other random guy who's the body.
I forget his name. Sebastian Shaw, I think.
Okay. Anyway.
Let's see. What else should I ask you about episode 2? What do you think of Yoda's lightsaber fight?
That was neat. It was cool to see Yoda. For me, not... Okay. I say this very loosely. It was cool for me to see Yoda for the first time using his lightsaber. The first time in me watching this, like, all the way through, but not the first time of me ever seeing him. But it was cool to see the development of him just being this, like, short, sort of cranky old man.
This wise old mentor.
Yeah.
And then you finally get to see him
fight. And
fight.
you finally get to see him use his power and understand why he knows so many things. It was really cool. It was really neat.
Yeah. Let's see. I know you mentioned this, so I'm going to bring it up.
Okay.
The scene where Obi-Wan jumps out the window. The sky chase.
Yes. This whole sky chase scene was amazing, but it really caught me off guard when Obi-Wan just shot out that window after that drone. Oh, man, it was cool.
Something I wasn't here for. I had to go to work, and Aaron and Ethan stayed here and watched the end of 1 and most of 2 before I got back. And, let's see. One thing I just remembered, whenever they caught the bounty hunter, the changeling, at the beginning of the sky chase, the girl.
Yeah.
And you see Boba Fett, the Jango Fett for the first time. You don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And he just shoots the dart.
Yeah. That was cool.
I like that scene.
Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere. Like, she's about to say something.
He was a bounty hunter called...
Yeah, and it hits her right in the throat, man. Oh. That was cool.
These movies are cool.
These movies are really neat. And there's like... I like movies, and I like good stories in movies, but I also really appreciate more when a movie has a bunch of, like, smaller stuff that you have to look for, and once you find it, it's really rewarding. Because then it's like, oh, that ties back to this, and it may not even be in the same movie. You know, it's really neat. I like stuff like that.
Well, I think just as a throwaway line, kind of, in episode 4, they mention the Clone Wars.
Oh, do they?
And then you get to see 1, 2, 3 and how it
builds up to... And how the Clone Wars happens and stuff. That's really neat.
I'm not sure what his plans were for that. It's just like, oh, the Clone Wars sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like, let's build on that. Because that was something else that I was kind of curious about, is like, didn't George Lucas say that he had a plan to do 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, and had a story for all that, but people necessarily didn't believe him?
I don't believe he had everything planned out.
Okay, but 3, 4, or 4, 5, 6 definitely was planned out.
Yeah,
I would think, because it's like all together. It's like one big long movie.
Probably not all of it, and as it went on, I know there's kind of a twist where they were kind of toying with the idea of Luke turning to the dark side in 6. But it never really panned out.
I was going to say, that'd be really different. Holy cow.
The signs are still there.
Are they?
You'll see when we get to 6.
Okay.
I don't want to...
Well, because like I know he ends up wearing like darker clothes, and a lot of time that's symbolism in movies for people being on the dark side of anything. So, and his robot hand is dark. There's a lot of symbolism for that.
You'll notice it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see.
That was something else that was cool about Anakin. Is from the very beginning, you see Obi-Wan in like a lighter gray, whitish cloak and everything, and throughout the entire movie, Anakin's in black. Like
the black and brown.
Yeah, like that's just oh man. I was watching a movie review for Treasure Planet, and the kid, I can't remember his name, but the main character starts off wearing like a gray shirt, black jacket, dark pants, that kind of thing, because he's just in a bad place and stuff. And then like throughout the movie, he takes off his jacket and has the gray shirt, and then by the end, he's wearing like a full white army uniform type of deal, and stuff like that's really neat to me.
It's been a long time since I've seen Treasure Planet.
I would recommend anybody to watch Treasure Planet. It doesn't matter what your age is.
I remember liking
enjoyable.
it, but I don't know much about it. I don't
it's
remember
so
much.
good. I just rewatched it the other day.
I remember the pirate guy who's like mostly a robot.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cool.
He's like
the stuff he can do
captain or
is really
something.
neat. Yeah. It's like his arm is like robotic, and at the forearm, his arm like pivots to a different tool.
Yeah.
It like spins around.
Yeah.
It's really neat. Good movie. Go watch that movie. We should do a review on that movie.
Next time.
Yeah.
On Dragon Balls.
All right. So what else in 2?
What'd you think about that little scene of the Death Star? Like they have the hologram of the plans.
Oh yeah, that was really neat because it's like especially if you've seen 3, 4, or 4, 5, and 6, like first, you're like, oh, that's how that ties in. Like that's who decided
This
to build it.
is where it's starting off.
Oh yeah.
Because you got to think it takes a long time to build something
For
that
sure.
big.
And it's probably being built throughout 1 and 2, I would imagine, somewhere, because it's huge. Like there's no way.
Well, I think that was the finishing of the plans in 2.
Oh,
and I guess
okay.
it's starting now.
Okay. It
during
probably
the Clone Wars.
started as Anakin was getting
I
married.
wonder, since Palpatine is like the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, if he's got people working on it in secret.
That could be.
As like here's a new.
Yeah, he's telling him it's like a defense weapon or something.
Here's a new base for the Republic, a moving base or something. I don't know.
Wouldn't surprise me. He's a sly guy.
What do you think about the difference between Sidious and Palpatine? Like whenever the cloak goes up and the voice changes, and the whole demeanor changes.
It seems like I can't really figure out where he's channeling the dark side. Like it's hard to tell if he's channeling it to be Palpatine or channeling it to be forget his name, Sidious. Yeah, there's so many names, and there's like they're very strange. Yeah, but it's hard to tell which one he's trying harder at to be.
I would assume Sidious is his natural state.
He has
that's
to use the
Force
thinking.
to cover up his dark energy.
That's what I was thinking.
Because Palpatine's a mask, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I
really like that.
Yeah.
That though, it's really neat. And we didn't. I already knew this, but we didn't find out in 2, did we? That he's Palpatine.
No.
Okay. Or no, he's Sidious, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay.
If you start with 1 and 2, you may not know, unless you I recognize that chin.
Yeah. That's like all you look at on somebody's face. It's like, that's his chin.
That's his chin, all right. Kind of like how you were picking out, that's not the Queen. I see Natalie Portman.
Yeah, it's like there's
there.
Natalie Portman standing right next to him. There's Natalie Portman next to Natalie Portman. Who's that? That was really clever. That would have been cool to see for the first time too, honestly. It's like, oh, whoa, I didn't realize that.
I'm just asking about this
but I already knew it was her.
Because I had a Lego set of it.
Mm-hmm.
The ship with the hyperdrive ring that Obi-Wan had.
Aaron was telling me about that. He's like, dude, Jared used to have this Lego set about it. I was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, it even came apart and everything. I was like, that's
the
the
ship
coolest.
came off. And, oh, man,
that's the coolest. I didn't realize it was a hyperdrive ring, though. I thought it was just like I don't know what it was. But
to make the ship lighter and more agile, there's no hyperdrive in it. So they go on the ring to travel.
So it's like a docking
space.
system type of deal. That's neat. Yeah, because if you're going through deep space, there's nothing to really avoid. You're just a straight shot and you're there.
Especially at light speed.
Yeah.
So, rating for episode 2.
Oh, probably a 7.
7?
7.5 at least. Man, that was good. I like 2 way better than 1.
We're gonna break this recording here because we gotta watch 3. We haven't gotten that far yet.
We should probably split this up into like episodes. Much like Star Wars.
Okay, this is Ethan Watches Star Wars Episode 1, signing off.